No, I'm too old for TikTok. I watch TikTok reels on Instagram like an adult.
no.
Thank you very much.
I get it a few days later.
Yeah, a few days later.
Yeah. The adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming. It's a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives.
My name is Trevor, and I have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old.
And every week we look to prove that just because you became a dad,
Does not mean it's game over.
unless you own an Xbox. In that case, it's all game over. Everybody, the sky
it.
fell. Abandon ye all hope. Nothing's going to work anymore.
Phil ran away. He's not your friend anymore.
He hates you. Phil, look, I didn't want to be the one to tell you this, but Phil at Xbox there, he hates your guts. Not a fan. But he saw your gaming history. He's like, you don't deserve any more games. All right. So obviously this is a bit of hyperbole, but that's what the entire week was. How would you best describe it? Well, okay, bit of context. Xbox came out a week prior because rumors had started to circulate. Oh no, Xbox is going to start giving away exclusives. They're going to start to release them on all platforms. And then it swirled out of control, getting out of hardware altogether. How would you summarize the furor that was going on around Xbox, like leading up to this announcement that just happened today?
Oh, everything was chaos, man. Like the whole world was in shambles. Like everyone was saying, I'm selling my Xbox. This is it. You know, they're going third party. I'm done. The brand is nothing to me. Phil lied to me. All this stuff. So everybody was interested in what was going to be said. So much so that they had to make a filmed podcast and present it almost like a Nintendo Direct kind of presentation, right? Like, so you thought you'd be sat down by, you know, old dad Phil here, and he's going to give you a talking to on what's going to happen and what next up. Mom and dad are getting a divorce.
Yeah,
so
your mother and I, first thing to say is Lady Xbox and I love you very much.
Yeah.
But it's just time that us and our games start seeing other people.
That's right. It's not you. We just have some things to work out.
So, yeah, the internet just went hog wild with this, which firstly, even if in the worst case of its rumors, let's say that every Xbox will no longer have exclusives. Fine.
Right. Yeah.
It's just, you know what I mean? Like there's not, it's even still, it's sort of like that doesn't detract from you playing games, but okay, so be it. But even if that was what was going to be the case, in its worst case, it wasn't really that bad, but people just went hog wild. They went nuts. They got so upset over it to the point where I saw people saying, well, I sold my Xbox. Yeah. There's no point anymore. So be it. And then we arrive here and it was 4 games, everybody. 4 games.
Four games. It just makes you question so many things. Like why this could have been a tweet. This could have been an email. Why did we wait a week to get here?
The week is the interesting thing because it's not necessarily their fault. I think rumors came out, right? So I think what happened is that, hey, we're going to release some of some of those exclusives. We're going to release them to other platforms. That leaked. And then everybody just jumped on it and immediate rage tweeted all about it. And then it blew up into its own thing. And they said, no, just calm down. We're going to talk on Thursday. But as you said, he almost should have had a tweet like, look, it's going to be these 4 games.
Yeah.
We're still going to build hardware. We're still going to have some exclusives. Starfield is still only Xbox.
Yeah.
Just much ado about nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Just calm those fears a little bit. You're like, hey, we'll have more details on what's happening, but really, it's 4 games that we're going to switch over.
Yeah.
Xboxes are still being made. Don't worry.
Settle down.
Yeah. Because people were worried.
Yeah.
And even we were talking about it last episode. We're like, well, maybe they do go with their, I don't know, like, sure.
Yeah. So anyways, it's, if anything for gaming dads out there, like just always take news coming from Twitter with a huge grain of salt. because it is a wild, angry echo chamber sometimes that just spirals out of control before there's any actual facts on the ground. Now, some of the more interesting speculation to kind of spin it on a positive was their recommitment to hardware.
Right.
Now that could have been, again, that's one of those far-fetched, but you could almost see it type of ideas that look, they go all in on cloud. They're really not going to do much more of hardware or kind of de-emphasize it, right? But in fact, it really seemed like they kind of recommitted to it, and how you were describing the one update about them making quote unquote leaps and bounds for the next one, right?
Yeah, they were saying that the next one will be the most technological leap this generation has ever seen. And I'm hoping that it's not so much in terms of power or graphics, because they've always been the leader in that against the competition. I'm hoping it's form factor, like a handheld.
Yeah.
Right? Have all that Xbox power in that handheld. Love of the Steam Deck here. Switch is super popular. Why wouldn't they? Portal, PS Portal.
Yeah, and the Portal kind of showed gorgeous hardware, good potential, not a great implementation. I've seen a lot of those come up for sale recently. I don't know if you've seen them on Marketplace.
I haven't. No.
Okay, they're not very cheap yet, but they're probably getting there. But they're just sort of like, I don't use this thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't find this very useful for me. But man, the next console, I imagine they'll have a marquee or showcase console. It'll be like the X2 or whatever silly naming convention they come up with now. But like moving into mobile, like to capitalize on some of the Steam Deck's popularity, that seems like an absolute no-brainer. That'd be so exciting.
Yeah, and again, they would help capture some of their Japanese market, right? Where they're not doing so hot. Nintendo takes off. Even, PlayStation has trouble because they're mobile centric. And I think a lot of kids now will be mobile centric. Like they want to take the games with them and play on the go and do whatever they need to do. Maybe that is an area. I would love to see it. Yeah. I think that would be great.
One loves to see it, but again, we wanted to close a loop on the story. Like we were super curious about where this was all going to land based on the craziness of the internet, right?
Yeah, again, it's like the kids out at recess spreading rumors and chatter, and you're like, wait, what happened at school? What's going on? And you're trying to feed through them all, and like the legit people out there are, flaming the rumors. Like they're like, yeah, this is all gonna happen. I heard through this, and then it all comes to nothing.
Not a damn thing. But all right, well, hey, I'm pretty happy. Like Hi-Fi Rush, I think was one of the titles. That's a fantastic game. I'm really happy to hear that other people get to play it. Like that looks like a stunning game. So really excited about that. Nothing. What can I say? Hey, gaming dads out there, did you have a hot take on that? Did you have a desire, a wish? Do you have any fears about Xbox going forward? Reach out to us, newdadgaming.com or at newdadgaming. Now, you had mentioned the Switch, and it had a wild return from a Switch title we hadn't touched for a while. So oldest comes up to me on the weekend and says, hey, can we play some Luigi Mansions? Could we do Luigi Mansions 3? Yeah.
That's out of left field.
Blast from the past. I have no idea why he saw this. He perhaps was combing through cartridges and just came across it. It's like, hey, this game.
Yeah.
God, this game holds up. It is so good, man.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful game. Like it is well rendered. It's got some, flair to it. I don't think I've ever beat it though, even with the kids. I don't think we ever beat it. So I'm wondering if you had or how far you got.
Oh yeah, no, beat the whole thing.
Perfect.
With them too. We did it co-op the whole time. It's fantastic. And then had an absolute blast in all of their multiplayer stuff after the fact. So there's something called, their favorite one is like Scream Tower, where it's just either 5, 10, or I think even 20 level mansions, and every time it's a time boxed challenge. Hey, go to the various rooms, find 10 ghosts, or collect this much gold, or whatever it is. But as a family title, it's just fantastic. It still holds up so well. Like I really can't recommend it to gaming dads enough, because one of the most fantastic conceits of it is the second player is what's called a Gooigi. So it is a Luigi made out of goo, but has all the same capabilities as Luigi, and with that, the the two of you are going against it, but if the goo dies, he just returns to the backpack to then quickly just kind of be able to get back out. So there's zero consequences to the death of Luigi, basically. So if you have
so good at this,
Man.
like they really do capitalize on that co-op, like getting the child, dad, parent aspect. That's wonderful.
Oh, it's so genius. It's such a fantastic way to do it because it's you get to help, but if you die, it doesn't matter. Oh, so yeah, it was wild. So the second part about the story, so that's interesting enough. Hey, reminder to gaming dads: if you have Luigi's Mansion 3, go back and check it out. It is a phenomenal title. Holds up. What doesn't hold up is in that aforementioned game mode of the Scream Tower. Yes. There is an online lobby, and it's classically Nintendo. It's really good in that like there's no chat, there's no friends, like it's just some rando Luigi show up and you all help. And it is a huge help too. It's not just if you have two people, it's twice as hard, so you may as well just have one.
Right.
It's a legitimate help if you have more people, but it is dead. It is. Oh, no. It is just a ghost town. There's no. We started like we tried like twice, and we waited. At the one time, I think it was a good like 3 minutes. Wait, that's not crazy long, but as far as like game time on the weekend, that's an eternity.
In kid time, that is eternity. What are you talking about? 3 minutes?
So, it's a wild feeling, because games. I suppose it almost harkens back to old days where games are very transitory. Big title comes out, the new Contra game comes out, and you go and you buy it, and you bring it home, and you play it, and you beat it, and then you sell it, and life moves on, right? But these new titles kind of have these like grander type of how would you even call it, like visions for what they would be, and it's like this huge multiplayer, all this multiplayer, everybody's talking about it, everybody's getting on, lobbies are like packed to the brim until they're not, and then you just have these like digital ghost towns, which is like, oh, this is sad.
Yeah, that's just it though. Like they put in some of these pieces to try and build a community, right? They're like, hey, this will add to the longevity of this game if multiplayer kicks off, or this online component. I remember going back to even just the old Demon Souls, and luckily like some players play that, but the players that do play that are very like niche and like have spent thousands of hours in it. So when you call upon them as a ghost in this thing, they'll just blow through the whole game for you. Like there's there's that part of it too, but when those lobbies shut down and start closing off, it's kind of sad to see, and part of that game kind of dies, especially if you're trying to get through a part and like that's the online component is pretty integral into like trying to do that. But
so I wonder if we can. So this is tricky because it is a humongous massive spoiler. Near Automata.
I mean, how old is this game?
It's very old though. I'll tell you what. If you it's not as if it's on your wish list and you haven't thought about playing it yet. So if you ever wanted to play Near Automata, how do you say the second?
Oh, Near Automata.
Near Automata. Okay.
Yeah.
So anybody listening that still is waiting to play Near Automata, turn off the podcast and return at a later time.
Yep.
Okay, we're safe. So as I understand the ending, and you confirm it, I never played it. I saw this as a spoiler, and I just thought it was one of the most stunning gaming things in the world. Is you go up to one of the final bosses, if not the final boss, and you are fighting him, and then like it's next to impossible. But then from the ether, like from everywhere, like these other people appear, and they're actual people apparently, and they help you defeat the boss. It's like, wow, this is amazing. And then you beat the game. Hey, congratulations, player. Listen, remember how you were helped? Would you like to help somebody else in return? Would you like to return the favor?
Right.
Understand that if you do this, you lose your save data. All of your progress will be deleted. You will be sacrificing your game in order to help another player achieve what is almost unachievable without this assistance.
Yeah.
Okay, that.
I mean, right? Like
what?
That's
gorgeous. Like it's the type of thing that just elevates this whole medium, the connectivity of it, the interactivity, the co-op part of it. Like that's a stunning concept. Except now, unless they programmed in bots, that doesn't exist anymore. Like no one's going to be there to do that. So it was a gorgeous, beautiful mechanic that was like time boxed to the moment. And you have to imagine now a lot of people probably get to that point and just don't beat the boss or have a really hard time of it, right?
Well, yeah, you make a good point there too, and it kind of plays into that FOMO feeling when a new game comes out and you're like, no, no,
Mm,
no, I'm gonna wait. I don't want to pay that much. I want to, when it gets to the backlog, I'll hop on with my kid and we'll go through it or whatever. But now they have so many multiplayer components that,
mm,
yeah, if they go away, then you're not experiencing that part of the game, which is again, that's something like Kojima level. Like that is
mm.
like, oh my god, I can't believe they did that. That is such a like a mind blowing thing, and it kind of flattens it a little bit when it's not there.
Yeah, I don't know. So the challenge I would have, it's like to be the most meaningful. It would be nice if it was only ever human players, but they could always kind of grok it by just always having a couple computer people, a
I
couple
think we've
bots.
had that a couple times when it's like tutorials in like Fortnite, and then you like discover that they're just bots, and you're
It's
like,
like,
wait,
yeah, you're not that good.
no, we didn't pair you with real people. Are you kidding me? You're still learning. You got your training wheels on.
Oh man. So yeah, it was all the bit of a wild tangent there, but it is wild to see some of these games kind of fall by the wayside. But I just imagine it's part and parcel to it. Games will come, games will go, new ones will be there. But for gaming dads out there, uh, for ourselves in our household, revisiting Luigi's Mansion 3 was just a trip. It was fantastic. I think we're playing it. He's requested to play it again this weekend.
Oh
So
wow,
yeah,
okay.
no, he loves it. He loves this game. So look,
Replaying it too. So
yeah.
that's awesome.
So looking forward to it. So everybody, gaming dads, check out there and appreciate while you got it. May not be here tomorrow, but a game that seems like it'll be here forever and ever is No Man's Sky. These people just cannot help themselves
It,
releasing updates.
forever updates for all time of this game. It's its own Roblox platform. Just updates on updates.
Yeah. Now, so anybody who listens to this the day of release, which should be on February 16th, this weekend is a free play weekend for this new expansion. So No Man's Sky comes out. They've released a new update called Omega. It's a brand new story, new ships, new missions, and everything else like that. And if you want to dive in for the first time, completely free over the weekend to get a taste of it. Now, I'd seen some people misconstrue it that, oh, they've gone free to play. And I would think at this point I've never paid for a monthly fee. Like I paid the initial launch fee. I just bought the game and I've just had it forever. And all these updates have been completely free. Given that that's the case, you'd almost imagine at some point I'm curious where they would go. Would they make it free to play and try to do some more transactional type stuff, or just let it die? I love Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I wonder if they would do free to play just to promote their other game when that releases. Like, hey, look, sample what we can do. Expect the similar for what we're gonna do with this next one. Or like, hey, we'll just make it, cosmetics that you can buy or something. I don't know, but it's
Yeah.
like, I was even as you were talking about it, I was wondering, like, are they throwing this out there with a free trial and possible free to play later on, maybe as like, hey, look, you can enjoy your Starfield over there, but but everyone hop in here. We got updates.
Yeah, come
we
to.
got all this free stuff.
It's like, you know what the real true space sim is. Let's go.
Trevor, hop in the spaceship.
Man, I'm tempted. I still have never beat it.
Have you played this thing in VR?
Yeah, it's
Yeah?
amazing in
Okay.
VR. It's because I bought the game multiple times. So I bought it for PS4. I was a launch time buyer, huge
Right.
proponent of
Yes.
it. Thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
It came out on PC, and then at some point I grabbed it during a Steam sale. It was like $20 type of thing. And then lo and behold, they released the VR update, which initially I played. I remember in my PSVR. This is now.
Yeah.
I've gone multiple places. I did it first in PSVR, which was amazing. Totally made that thing worth it at the time for the purchase. But then later with streaming to my Quest 2 headset for my PC, once it was like VR capable, also did the same. It's a trip. I'd thought about maybe for my new run through, just doing it in VR. But that's
See,
a lot of hours. That's a lot of hours with something on my face.
that is a lot of hours, but you have updated along with the updates that they push out.
Hmm.
Like, it's just like you've moved along with the hardware and updated with it. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I offering a free trial again. I was a purchaser of No Man's Sky way behind you,
Hmm.
but it was on a disc. So on my PS5, I can't play it, and I don't want to repurchase it.
Yeah.
But a free trial, I might hop in and maybe I like it.
Give it a
Yeah,
taste. Give it a
I know.
taste. See what's up. So I'd be curious if it's the type of game I'd almost prefer my kids to get into. It's like
Yeah,
this.
why
It's
not?
like this versus Roblox, basically.
Yeah.
At least in this one, like they're going around, they're building bases. Like there's actual missions. There's play your own way. There's a lot of leniency for game preference. Like, what do you want to do today? Do you want to be a pirate? Do you want to be a builder? Do you want to race like go karts on a planet surface? Like, do whatever you want to do. I
Yeah.
think there's a complexity that would be a bit beyond them. Like, they're not gonna be able to read and understand the various missions. So, at this juncture, do you think
No, but they could
do you think it'd be
probably
something
figure it out.
either of your kids would be into?
My kids aren't really into. I don't want to call them story-driven games, but they're more interested in the multiplayer of it. So they
Hmm.
might like that aspect of it, but not want to go through the storyline, get the materials and stuff. They just want the stuff to play with
Yeah.
their friends and go
Well,
from there.
so there's two modes. So there is the story mode, and then you have to like build and you have to mine for everything. But there is
Okay.
the unlimited, the creative mode where
Oh, okay.
you have
They
infinite
might not.
everything.
That might be right up their alley then. It's just something that they can just tool around in and have a blast with their friends. And
Yeah. Even man, I'm gonna have to double check what the latest one is. I remember, as always with most of these games, I just get to a point where it's like, oh well, to get to that ship upgrade, you're gonna need 26 mitro crystals and
yeah,
25 bug bolts, and like, it's like that you're saying nonsense words, and
yeah.
each one of them represents like 6 hours of dad gaming time,
Oh
which is
no.
like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I just can't, I just can't be bothered. I remember the last time I got into it, the creative mode did not allow you to actually finish the story. So
Oh, I hope they updated that.
I'm really hoping it, man, because I just can't. That or like I'll see what the punishment is now for cheating on the PC version. Because if I could
Okay.
just give my if they have a console, because I just can't do that grind, man. I butt up against it so often. Like with Pal World, even like I had a phenomenal time. I was really enjoying it, right? And then it just got to that point where it's like, well, now you need 16 PAL crystals. You need to match that with PAL souls
Yeah.
and whatever.
All these currencies and
And I'm
they
like,
all work together or against each other. And you're like, wait, no, I need that thing to make that currency. And now I'm splitting that.
and now this is a
Yeah.
job. I work every day. Like I don't need to work in my games. Yeah, that is a side tangent. Creative mode. Saying it out loud. I think creative mode. That's kind of interesting. I might introduce it to my kids and see what they're thinking. See if I can get them off of some Roblox for, but a small second.
I mean, it'd be worth a shot. The first world I tried out, though, I was on this toxic planet and was dying immediately. Does that still happen in creative mode, or are you safe
Well,
from all the radiation?
you wouldn't have to mine anything. You'd be able to just like repair your ship immediately. So you'd be able to
Okay,
hop
good.
off.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, health was dropping. Everything was like, oh, red alerts everywhere. Like diving into a cave, trying to mine whatever I needed to mine.
So PSA to gaming dads: if you catch this in time on the weekend of February, I don't know if it starts on the 16th or 17th, but it's free play for a while with No Man's Sky. If you haven't gone to the great beyond, do check it out. All right, and lastly was a nice little story, Jeff, of our dystopian future where there is no talk, there is no communication, there is no bonds. It is just phones and people.
Yep.
So and it all starts with you taking your kids skiing.
Yeah, so I decided, like a chump, to
Like a
volunteer
fool.
for my 13-year-old's ski trip. And I'm like, okay, like this is kind of, his last year. I will put my name in the ring. And then they selected of all these parents to go 2 hours away to a ski resort and ski all day and come back. And I knew what I was getting into. I was selected. I'm like, okay, at least I get to ski. This is great. But the part of it was being on the bus for 90 minutes to 2 hours with grade 8s and grade 6s.
Just like,
Which is
oh,
a
every
lot.
every dad listening is just immediately like, oh
Like,
no.
right? Like, I can barely deal with two kids in the back that just pester each other just
That,
for the sake of it. They're like, you know what? We're in close quarters. I'm going to pester you.
yeah,
'Cause that's what I do.
you have a hard time with those two, and you're legally required to care for them.
Right.
What a bus full of them.
Yeah. So this was one trip where it was chaos. But what was funny was that every single student had a better phone than me. Um, and everybody was,
Nice phone, Gramps. Nice
yeah,
Nokia.
I'm taking out my old iPhone XR. They're like, yeah, okay, buddy. And they got 14s and 15s, Pros, whatever, Samsung 17 lenses on the back of the thing. And they're all like sharing, movie clips and games and like crazy controllers attached to them. Probably some of the attachments that you have.
Hey, there we go.
And
I'll be right at home.
yeah, so they're all going, back and forth with each other, and then I'm sitting next to my 13-year-old. That, like, honest God, is like the cinematography of it just like slowly turns to me, right? It's like seeing all these phones out there, all the games happening, and they're saying, "Dad, can I use your phone to game?" And I'm like with this little rickety contraption, and I get out, like, listen. The battery is like already half dead. I charged it an hour ago. I don't have any space left. I don't know if anything runs. You can't play like they're playing Resident Evil 7 or something. Like, I don't know what mine can take now. Maybe it's Flappy Bird. I'm not sure.
Oh,
But
my
nothing
Lord.
works on this thing. So it was one of those like, oh man, you're not the cool dad.
So how dystopian are we talking though? Was it like every single kid that just like staring down with like light beaming in their face? Was there at least some nonsense going on, like as should be expected with kids of that age?
Yeah, so there was a variety. I don't want to paint like a bad picture, but like there's a variety. Like some kids were reading books on their phone, right? So they were like honestly got text, but the phone was like half a tablet, probably like your new phone. Just like, yeah, I can read this. This is a book. But other kids were doing like collaborative games. That's what made for a lot of noise, right? Like I don't know if you ever played Heads Up, where you have to like guess the character.
Yeah.
They have Beats Up, which you have to guess the song. So there's song lyrics and stuff that you have to go through, and all the kids are yelling, whatever, and they're having a blast. So like it does create like it's a tool for enjoyment, right? Like, so it's great, it works, gives this old dad a headache, and then I look like, again, this ancient antique phone from 6 years ago, which
I got
again, doesn't work.
Can't use my phone. Can't handle games, son. But I got a book of Mad Libs here. You wanna give me what's a noun? New phone. Okay. What's an adjective? Lousy phone. Okay. It's just what's a verb? Break your phone.
Yeah, it's pretty much like, hey, let's play like out the window and count cars or something. I felt so old, man. Like, it was just not a good experience.
Have them be bored.
No.
Oh, I imagine it's coming for me. I imagine. Wait, do your kids currently have phones?
They do, but they're the hand-me-downs, so they're worse. They're like iPhone 7 and 8, I think.
So basically, like, they have to just for calls, basically. Then.
Yeah, calls. Again, my 13-year-old has a cell phone plan, so they can be out and we can check on them or whatever. But otherwise, it's just YouTube. It's YouTube and maybe Geometry Dash, which apparently is still a big hit amongst the kids.
Nice.
But yeah, that's basics. That's all it gets.
Yeah, it's just a fight I'm getting ready for, where it's as much as I think every parent gets up to about that age, and it's like, well, I'm gonna fight the good fight. My kid's not gonna have a phone, and then they turn like 12, 13.
Yeah,
and you're kind of just defeated.
Yeah, and it's also like you should learn the tools that you're going to use every day, right? Because I use my phone every day. I do find it funny, as maybe when we were kids and we would have a Game Boy, we would hide it in our bed and stuff when our parents.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So now it's with a phone. So like, I've walked into my kid's room, even my 10-year-old, right? And I know they've been on the phone because I can see it through the Wi-Fi data.
Hmm.
And my older one figured it out and switched to cell phone. We've had that conversation because they go over their data limits that way. But my 10-year-old would be like hiding it under the pillow with like the light. You could see the light through the pillow sheet. Like, okay, it's on. And they're like, I don't know why are you in here, Dad? And I'd be like, okay, you're on your phone, right? Like, no, I didn't bring it. Okay, yeah, it's here. I haven't been on it though, and it's warm to touch, right? Like,
Just like it has music from the game still playing in the background.
yeah. Well, I think we have YouTube Premium, so the video would still be going. Or they've downloaded the videos to get around the Wi-Fi stoppage. So yeah, it's
smart.
just a tool for what the kids use nowadays. And you're coming up on that age. I don't know. It comes quick, man. And whether or not it's a hand-me-down or a brand new phone that these kids have that are way better than mine.
Well, my oldest is 8. He's already asked about it.
I mean,
So and I'll say like I'll take my. There's a few kids, and this isn't a judgment type thing, but we'll be at. I'll take my youngest to gymnastics, and a bunch of the kids there, like they'll at very least, and they'll be like, these are like 4 or 5-year-olds, and they'll be using their parents' phone for. Now that I have no problem with, because that's a distraction thing. Like, look, we're in a confined space, we got to be here for like an hour.
right.
Like let's just like let us just have a calm moment and then distract them. I pulled that move a lot, especially at restaurants back in the day.
Yep.
Like that was a go-to move. It's like, look, here's a video. I'd like to eat. So here's a video.
I'd like to rest, please.
I'd like to eat and not get kicked out of another restaurant. So here's a video. We're just going to all acknowledge that this is not great, but it's a certainly great tool. So I'm not casting judgment. I've been there. But it's just a thought that it's like, even as of 4 and 5, like 6, like they're in the mix. They know what these little squares are, which is like nonstop entertainment.
Yep.
So it's coming quick.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I'm pretty heads up. That's pretty cool. That's kind of exciting to hear that they're using technology, but they're doing it in a way that's communal, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, they're still being kids with it, right? Which was nice to see. They weren't, they were playing something that they could involve others and have a blast with. And yeah, it was good, but it was a little bit chaotic for
like,
this old dad.
Hey, there was a lot of other parents that didn't have to go that are singing
right?
your praises. Thank you for not.
Me all.
Yeah. All right. With that, everyone, we will wrap it up there for the week. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you like the podcast, you can find us on all the major podcasting networks. So iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Caster, anywhere where you get your podcasts, just search for New Dad Gaming. If you did like the show, a subscription and especially a rating or comment really helps boost the signal as we try to grow out and meet as many gaming dads as possible. Speaking of that, one of the greatest parts about this has been the interaction. Speaking with other gaming dads is always our favorite part. Getting your emails, getting your tweets, any other way you can reach out. So great to hear from you. So please do so. Reach out to us at our website, newdadgaming.com, or find us on our socials at newdadgaming. Last week, I think I streamed 6 hours playing Marvel Snap. Like, we were just in the zone. We had a fantastic chat going on, helping out. So join me on there. So we stream this show live besides the podcasting, and also I do try to get on at least once a week for gaming at New Dad Gaming Podcast on Twitch. Everybody, thank you once again so much for listening. And until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old.
And once again, we'll say, just because you became a dad
does not mean it's